Gretzky at center. Moving up is Semenko on the left side. Gretzky slows up to Lumley. Lumley in front. Semenko scores! Number 27 makes it 1-0 Oilers.
There were headlines in the Edmonton papers today about Dave Semenko fighting Muhammad Ali. What do you know about that, Gary?
Well, I think that stems back to the last trip we were in Los Angeles. Muhammad Ali invited the whole Edmonton Oilers over to his house for his 31st birthday. And they were sparring around a little bit, and I think it's just a little bit of joking going on.
Mayhaps a little promoting as you look at 25-year-old Dave Semenko, former Brandon Wheat King hockey player, originally drafted by the Minnesota North Stars, but signed with Edmonton of the WHA. Perhaps the premier heavyweight in the National Hockey League, as Ali was the premier heavyweight in the ring. Here's Curry over the line. His drive is blocked by Craig Ludwig. And Curry is decked by Steve Shutt. The Oilers' fourth line, Ralston, Lumley, and Semenko. Good hit there as Dwight Schofield, number 34 for the Canadiens on his first shift to the game, dished out a nice body check. Schofield just called up from the Nova Scotia Voyageurs.
A little earlier, a big defensive play by Dwight Schofield, the rookie.
This is a dangerous position for a center iceman to be in, looking down at the puck in that center ice area. The defensemen are just looking for guys coming across like that, and that'll get Schofield into the game.
On the right wing for Mario Tremblay. Good collision there, low and Tremblay.
Well, again, that's not the type of penalty that you want to take. I think Semenko had his stick up and his elbow, so they could have called him for anything on that type of a play.
And all the lads are having a bit of a conversation out at center ice right now.
Maybe they're looking for the puck.
That could be it. Dave Semenko is now headed over to the penalty box. There's the big man sitting down, a high sticking penalty at 17:41. Here it is again.
And here's a real good play by Kevin Lowe, just getting in front of Mario Tremblay. Looks like Kevin got the worst of that one, but Tremblay, you can't be too careful with him. He can really handle the puck well, and Kevin got his shoulder into him. It was a clean check, and
Canadiens power play ranked 16th in the league. Edmonton's penalty killing is 9th. Gilles Fleur into Steve Shutt. Lots of action in front. Ryan Walter is posted there again. Jackson is trying to deal with him. Fleur dumps it into the corner. Quite a battle in front of the net, and there's going to be penalties. And Walter and Jackson are going to fight. Walter is knocked down, and Jackson, a big defenseman, is on top of him. Gary, I think Jackson just got fed up with Ryan Walter in front of the net.
That's the job he has to do, Jackson. He's got to take that guy out in front of the net, and he did his job really well there. Ryan Walter stood up to him, but Jackson was just a little bit too tough for him.
Kevin Lowe says he got him with the hip, but they rule a trip on Matt Naslund, and the Canadiens will have a power play. What do you think, Gary?
Well, I think he swung his foot around there. Maybe he didn't mean to trip him, but I think he was kind of playing the puck. I think the referee almost had to call a play like that.
Now we'll have a look at this. Watch Walmsley.
I think Anderson is just trying to get in the way a little bit there, and Walmsley's a little bit frustrated, like you say.
And the most frustrated Canadian, perhaps, Bob Berry behind the bench with the toughest job on the Canadiens. Lafleur, number 10, in his own zone now. Schofield and Semenko, look out for this one. Let's hope Dwight got in over his head too much. He's just a rookie from the AHL. Now look at this little shadow boxing they're going to do here. Schofield and Dave Semenko. Semenko is just going to tear into him. Schofield better try and hold on or he may get hurt. Semenko may just eat Schofield up and Schofield can't hold on to him. See how quickly the linesman can get in there and try and break this up. Schofield holding him at close quarters, and I would too. Semenko has hurt people in fights.
He's not the type of guy that you want to get into a fight with. He does hurt people. There's a lot of times where you see fights in hockey and nobody gets hurt, but Semenko hurts guys with his punch. He's got just like cast iron weight.
Okay, let's have a a look at how they got this going. Whoa. Semenko knocked down.
Schofield gives Semenko a really good shot, knocks him down to the ice, and that's how it started, right in the middle of the ice there, right off the faceoff.
Now we've got a situation where both players will likely be sent to the dressing rooms, and this is where we had problems last night because the security was not very good, and we had Ken Linsman ejected last night along with one of the LA Kings, and they got into it below the stand. Let's hope the security is better tonight.
Well, I'm sure they're not going to let it go the way it did last night. That was a little bit too bad after the game that that type of thing gets going in hockey.
There's big Dave Semenko going through the Edmonton bench. Both teams leave the bench on the same side of the ice here, and that creates a problem.
As the Oilers, number 27, Dave Semenko, each 2 minutes roughing plus 5 minutes fighting. The time 14 minutes 55 seconds.
There's the Canadiens heavyweight champion, Chris Nyland, who serves the same responsibilities as Dave Semenko with the Edmonton Oilers. I guess most teams have one player of that nature on their club.
Well, they try to have a player like that on each club, but I think it's getting more away from that now that they're trying to play the Russian style of hockey where it's more skills, more Europeans in the league, and it's good for hockey that they are getting away from what they call the goon tactics.
Gary, you raise a point about trying to get away from that, although I think with the National Hockey League allowing teams to dress the extra player this year, it was very accommodating to teams who wanted to carry a heavyweight, though.
Well, the problem is, I think the difference is, not the problem, the difference is that the players that are heavyweights now, as you say, have a little more hockey skills. They're not just there to fight. They can play the game too, and that's where they're not getting carried away that way.
And I've got one more question on this aspect of the goon. As an Oiler, do you consider Dave Semenko a goon?
No, I don't, because he contributes in other ways other than just fighting to the hockey club. He scores goals for the club, and he doesn't go out there looking for fights. He just, if somebody wants to accommodate him, he'll be there, but he doesn't want to get any of our players intimidated. There's a lot of lightweights on the Edmonton Oilers, like Gretzky and Linsman, and they're not real fighters. So you need a guy like that, so the other teams don't really run you out of the building.
Semenko, in fact, has scored a goal tonight. He scored the first goal of the hockey game. The final score, Edmonton 7, the Canadiens 3. Let's go down to Chris Cuthbert.